Jagrati. Sahana bhavatu, sahanau bhunaktu, sahaviryankaravavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim chaiva tato jayamudirayet. Yeah, today there was actually a little bit of better clarity than it was yesterday, because yesterday the difference between the Sagunopasana and Nirgunopasana, because for me it was like the Nirgunopasana Pasaka is also is a seeker, in the sense he still hasn't reached the goal. But I think Nana today had clarified that I think chapter Shloka 13 onwards, there will be better clarity with respect to that. It includes both those that have already become a jnani and those that are yet to be. But compared to that, he, according to Bhagavan...
Can you say that again, Dr. Brahma, that what you're saying right now?
No, in Krishna, Arjuna's question, the beginning of the Bhakti Yoga, he has this question as to who is better, the person who is doing Sagunopasana or Nirgunopasana. Whereas when Bhagavan answers, let me just share that screen. So when Bhagavan answers the question, he says, the Sagunopasana Pasaka is better.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Isn't it?
Yeah, they're exalted.
At the same time,
he didn't say in the same place where they are better than the jnanis, right? Like he just said they are better. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, that is better.
See, Arjuna's question was, in this manner, there are those devotees who constantly committed meditate upon you, and also those who seek you as one who is not subject to decline, not available for objectification, among them who are the greatest knowers of yoga. So Arjuna very clearly was distinguishing between Sagunopasakas and those that follow Nirgunopasana. Then Bhagwan says, endowed with unflinching faith, their minds committed to me, being ever united with me, those who meditate upon me are considered by me as the most exalted. So clearly he was saying the Sagunopasakas are more superior. Then he says, however, those who contemplate upon that which is not subject to decline, not describable, not available for objectification, all pervasive, not an object of thought, which abides in Maya, does not move and is eternal, having complete mastery of the group of sense organs, those who are always equal-minded and take delight and are disposed to the welfare of all beings, gain me alone. Although he was mentioning Sagunopasakas are superior, he says the other sect, having control over their sense organs and pursuing that which is indeclinable, that avyaktam, achintyam, arupam, agrahyam, all of that, they gain me alone.
That is true. Yeah, he says.
So Bhagavan was not directly answering him.
His question.
I think with reference to Arjuna in mind, he said Sagunopasana is better, is superior.
Yeah, that's why Dad said that he's not trying to compare both of them. He was trying to answer separately here.
Correct.
Yeah.
And kleshodi kataras tesham avyakta sakta chetasam. So the affliction is greater for those whose minds are committed to what cannot be objectified, because an end which cannot be objectified is reached with difficulty by those who are identified with the body. So, in order to follow Nirgunopasana, you are supposed to have given up this identification with the body. Otherwise, you'll end up with a lot of difficulty. Therefore, Sagunopasana is better, is my understanding from what we gathered today and yesterday. So, instead of following Nirgunopasana, it is like the sannyasi person who wants to take to sannyasi, but he's still not eligible or he's not prepared enough in his mind. He goes away to Himalayas, leaving his family. But the moment he goes there, he would be kind of caught up with thoughts of what is happening to his family, what is happening to his wife, how are they managing. So that is an unprepared mind. So unless you give up the body identification, following Nirgunopasana is difficult. Therefore, Sagunopasana is what is important. And then he goes on to say, however, those meditators being the ones for whom I am the ultimate end, giving up all actions unto me with a commitment in which there is indeed no other, meditating upon me, worship me. So this is again, he's talking of the Sagunopasakas.
So actually, I read a little bit, just the first sloka only in the Swamiji description. He basically says you better have a good understanding of what each term is, like what is meditation, what is karma, jnana, and then what is the other one here, karma yoga, phala, and all that.
Karma phala tyaga.
Yeah. I mean, he wants you to have clear idea what each one means, because remember in the last one we reviewed, it said one better than the other,
Correct.
like that. So you really have to have a better understanding of that. And I also felt, you have to constantly committed to me, right? Like thinking about me. I mean, that is also another thing, I want to know how, like, I know that we talked about this, like tambura, like this thought should be going in your background. But the other one is upasana that I forgot to tell you. So we have to know what upasana is, what this is, what that is, and all that. So that will help in the bhakti yoga, to really understand what the bhakti is about, what Bhagavan is talking about bhakti towards him.
See, for all of this, in order for us to be keeping him in mind constantly and offering all our actions unto him, requires an element of Shraddha, requires an element of surrender. Because, see, today there was this discussion about a dharmic person versus a karma yogi. A person who's dharmic is doing everything right, is doing everything ethical, except that he does not have this faith in the supreme or faith in the divine. He also is not surrendering his actions. He's doing it because he's doing it. As a human being, he's doing it. And he's on the right side of the law. He's doing everything right. Whereas with that element of Shraddha is there, when there is that element of bhakti involved, whereas there is an element of surrender, that there is a supreme being who is the lawgiver and the giver of the results of action. It is because of him. then there is that shift in the attitude, no? So that is, I think, keeping him in mind all the time. And if we are able to uh, live our life offering every action unto him, that is my
So
understanding.
yeah, yesterday after reviewing all that, I was thinking more about it, and then this thing came to my mind, like where um, where Arjuna and Duryodhana goes to Sri Krishna and ask him to help them for the war, right? I mean, basically Arjuna says, "I want you." So similarly, like what I feel like when you pray to the God, instead of asking you want this, you want that, you all want only you, so that way you only want Bhagavan, so he will take care of the whole thing, it's just so that way you surrender to him, and like you said, surrender completely. And then so the whole idea about is only to, yesterday Madhuri also was talking about Krishna and all that. So of course there's one Bhagavan, so with the different names, so we just uh, ask that God to be with us. That's all we can ask for, right? I mean, that kind of you know, I felt that was something what normally you should do, not attached to things, asking for more things. That's what they say, like Artha, this they ask for power, money, and this and that. So we are not asking for those kind of things, like surrender to him, like
Yeah, and also doing all our actions like a yajna bhava. Like you remember the chapter 4 shloka, the Brahmarpanam, Brahmahavihi, Brahmagnau, Brahmanahutam,
right.
Brahmanvatena Gantavyam, Brahmakar. So whatever we do, if we are able to do it with that attitude of yajna bhava, that it is like an offering. It is not, um, even if you're, say, brushing your teeth or taking a bath or uh, these mundane activities also, if we can bring in that element, that thought at the back of our mind, that we're doing it as everything is Brahman, with that thought in the back of our mind, I think that is what is a Sagunopasaka, where he is constantly thinking of the Supreme, of the Divine in his mind whenever he's acting and whatever he does.
True. Yeah.
No, no,
Mm-hmm.
it's a
And
matter of cultivation. I think it is, that doesn't just happen. We will have to cultivate that habit of the attitude.
right. So we have to start somewhere, right? Like all this
Mm,
time we've been debating what God to pray, what to do, should we do
mm.
this, not this? I mean, we're still in the dilemma, but now more and more like coming toward
A little bit of
this
clarity is dawning, I guess.
clarity. Right. I mean, you don't have to deal with those kind of things, and this is where you have to do, like
Yeah.
this, you get that clarity. I mean, because of that, you don't feel bad about it. Oh, so that's what I felt like wanted to tell you today.
Mm,
That's
correct.
We
nice.
will have to do it again and again, I think. Punah,
Yeah.
punah, punah.
Mm.
But good, we could complete 18 chapters chanting, no? That helped a lot, actually. Thank you so much, Samraj.
Yeah. I think we should all thank Gurudev for giving us the idea. Otherwise, we would not have done it, no? He gave the advice and we just followed it. So, shall we? Anyone else wants to share chapter 12? Two things today I'm going to do as my homework. Okay, I've not done the 20 values that we learnt about in the last bit of Atma Bodha. That I'm going to enumerate today and put up in a chart.
That one, and also the nirvikalpa, that
Correct.
that
That
sloka,
sloka,
maybe
no?
we should cut and paste it separately,
Right,
so that
right.
that one and that 20 values, that be really
Correct,
be helpful
correct.
to go back
Today,
and.
today is actually a holiday for us here.
Oh,
So
good.
my weekly off. Fridays are weekly off. So that
Okay.
is one thing I will do. And I
Mhm.
also would like to start reading Swamiji's commentary on the chapter 12, so
Well,
that there
yeah.
is better understanding. I mean, there's such an every chapter is important, but here, in order to get more clarity, as Nana is talking, I will
Yeah.
go. I will visit the home study Gita.
Yeah, I actually that 12th chapter, like what Nana was discussing before, he reviewed from the first chapter. That's exactly he pretty much reviewed the same, similar to that.
Swamiji as well.
And
Mm.
yeah, and so it gives you that introduction before they start this first sloka.
Mm.
I kind of skimmed through it, not really read every line of it, but
Mhm.
basically, that how he's still not giving up on his question, this karma yoga with the he because he want to become sannyasi, still he's
Because Arjuna is bitten by the sannyasa bug. That is why he
yeah
wants to go on asking
on
what
asking
is,
the thing.
which is
Yeah.
better, which is better.
Mhm.
Mm.
So that's what
Brahmara,
making.
Jai Gurudev,
Yes,
I
Mrinal.
was just, hello.
Yeah, yeah. Yes, Mrinal.
Yeah, I was just thinking, uh, since we are going back and reading the third chapter now,
Mm.
instead, along with the 12th chapter, why can't
Why
we
don't
read
we read?
what is going on now and then
Yeah,
visit the other earlier chapters so that we have better understanding now? It's like going back and forth, back and forth. Instead, we start reading
right.
the explanation right now so that
Yeah,
you can
yeah.
think over this.
You actually presented what was there in my mind. But then I didn't want to suggest that because we had started as a flow and we thought we'll continue with chapter 3. But this actually makes sense. If we read chapter
Isn't it?
12,
And once we finish all the 18 chapters,
mm,
along with Nanaji, we can be with, so we will have a better understanding, I felt. And coming back over, say, anyway, we will be doing these chapters, right? So why
mm,
not with the flow when Nanaji is reading this?
yeah.
I thought that makes sense. But anyway, whatever others also say, what you feel.
Yeah, I would certainly like to do this simultaneously along with what we're covering in the first 1 hour. Uh, the only thing is, if we skip the previous chapters, the Swamiji has talked of so much. He's given so much of insight into the second chapter itself was so beautiful. I'm not sure whether we'll be enough kind of prepared to understand what is happening now in this chapter. That's the only concern,
Yeah. No,
isn't it?
we are not going to leave that. Once we finish
Yeah,
18 chapters along with Nanaji, we will go back and we can
right.
start from, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no problem if everybody is okay with it. Instead of doing chapter 3 now in the meanings, we can stick to chapter 12 and do the chapter 12.
Hari Om, yeah, Brahmaraji. We used to
Yeah?
do that, if you remember. Yeah, we used to do that along with Nanaji's. We were reading the description of Swamiji as well. Yeah, we can do that. That's better, 12th
Yeah,
chapter by Swamiji, please.
yeah, that is better, I think. Better hold on
Yeah.
understanding of the thing which is currently going on. From
Yeah,
all aspects, understanding it will help more.
because Bhagavad Gita, any chapter you can pick up any time and get that wisdom because you have to go to
Okay,
it again and again and again.
that's fine. Then, if that is a consensus, why not? It has been actually there in the back of my mind for a while now. It's just that I did not put it forward. 1 second. Let me just get. Chapter 12. Today also we will have to wind up by, it's 24 now. By 40 we will wind up. Huh? There are 78 pages over here in chapter 12.
And we'll stick to Nanaji's advice. If we think we're straying away from the main thing, then we
Yes.
should feel free to tell each other, hey, let's get back.
Yes, I think we should do that. Oh, why did I come to chapter 13? 1 second. Oh, sorry, 1 minute, yeah. Something is going wrong there.
Yeah, we'll close the windows so that we don't see the grazing cows.
It did come up and the window suddenly disappeared. Just give me a minute and my computer, I think, is stuck there. Yeah. Can you all see this?
Yes, Dr. Zaga, you can say that.
Yeah, okay. So, in the 12th chapter, the topic is predominantly devotion or bhakti. Bhakti is from the root bhaj, used in the sense of service. Dedicated action to Ishvara, who is in the form of dharma, is called bhakti. One who conforms to dharma and avoids adharma, looking upon it as Ishvara, is a bhakta, a karma yogi. Arjuna's question. The chapter opens with a question by Arjuna. It is in the same vein as all his other questions in the Gita. His conflict lies in the fact that his mind is in sannyasa, but he's being called to duty. Everyone has such a conflict in one form or another. Even in the early morning, you wonder, should I get up or should I sleep in for a while? You start the day with a conflict of pravritti and nivritti. And this continues in various forms. Arjuna's mind is still not settled. In the second chapter, he declared that he was not interested in kingdom and comforts, but preferred a life of bhiksha. After using the word bhiksha, he was obsessed with sannyasa. His commitment is, of course, for Shreyas, and he wants sannyasa for that. The action he's called to is a terrible one. He has to fight a war. If it were a prayer like Sandhya Vandana or a ritual like Agnihotra, it would not be a problem. His difficulty is that he has to kill all these great men like Bhishma and Drona, for whom he has so much respect. How can he fight against people who deserve his worship? In the same chapter, he said further that it was not possible for him to engage in such a battle. He would rather live a sadhu's life and gather alms or bhiksha. Such a lifestyle is possible for only two types of people, a brahmachari or a sannyasi, a renunciate. Arjuna cannot be a brahmachari now. He is already married and has grown up sons. He can only become a sannyasi, which is exactly what he thinks is good for him now. He has said so in so many words. I do not want a kingdom because I do not think it will remove my sorrow. Therefore, I want Shreyas. I am your student. Please teach me. Shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. Arjuna had a commitment for this knowledge. He wanted Shreyas, not sannyasa, but he thought sannyasa would be more conducive to his gaining Shreyas. Then Lord Krishna taught him the nature of Atma in the second chapter. He also told him that all the Vedas talk about ends within samsara, not going beyond the three gunas. Therefore, he said, Arjuna, may you become one who is above these three gunas. Nistrai gunyo bhavarjuna. Then he told him to get up and fight. Tasmat uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya kritanishchayaha, and talk to him about karma yoga. You have choice only regarding action, never the result. Karmanyevadhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Then Arjuna asked a question. He wanted to know the characteristics of a wise man. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha. Indirectly, he was asking whether a wise man would live in this world and perform all actions like any one of us. Bhagavan answered by saying that the one who is happy with himself is a wise man. What is day for the ignorant is night for him. And what is night for him is day for the other. That means what is true to him is not true to the other, and what is true to the other is not true to him. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samyame yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato munehe. When that is so, how can one describe a sthita prajna to one who is not a sthita prajna? If you are not a wise man, no description is going to help you, because it takes a wise man to understand a wise man. And if you are already a sthita prajna, you do not need to have him described to you. Still, Krishna made an attempt using an example. As the waters entering into the brimful ocean bring about no change to the ocean, similarly, all objects enter into a wise man, leaving no trace at all. He is happy. Nothing elates or depresses him. Then Arjuna had another question. He understands very well that Krishna has his heart in knowledge, because by knowledge alone one becomes a sthita prajna. If that is so, he wonders, why are you asking me to engage in this fight? Since knowledge liberates, Arjuna wants to pursue only knowledge. He has no value for all these activities Krishna is asking him to engage in. You seem to contradict your own words because you praise knowledge and at the same time ask me to do karma, he tells him. It is evident that Shreyas, which is moksha, is gained by knowledge. Yet, he is asked to engage in this action, and it is not an easy task. It implies bloodshed. It seems to Arjuna that Krishna wants to deny him Shreyas by diverting his attention in another direction. All this is implied when he asks, which do you consider better, Krishna, karma or jnana? Jayasi chet karma naste mata buddhir janardhana tatkim karmani tadekam vadanischitya yena shreyoham apnuyam. The third chapter is the response to this. Lord Krishna does not give him a definite answer. He only tells what karma yoga is and what is sannyasa. Both are for jnana. The difference is only in lifestyle. Lokesmin dvivida nishta. One is a life of renunciation, the other a life of activity with proper attitude, which is good for purification of the mind, chitta shuddhi. Thereby, you are able to understand what is being said. If you are ready for sannyasa, be a sannyasi. If not, be a karma yogi. There is no choice in this really. It is like a 15-year-old asking if next year he should be 16 or 17 or 25. Sannyasa is maturity, and to gain maturity, you have to go through karma yoga. Therefore, between sannyasa and karma yoga, there is no choice. It is entirely decided by what you are ready for. Krishna carefully explained karma yoga and sannyasa, hoping Arjuna would not ask this question again. But after waiting for some time, in the 5th chapter, Arjuna asks the same question in a different form. Hoping perhaps that Krishna has forgotten his original question, he asked, "You are praising both yoga and sannyasa. Krishna, between the two, please tell me definitely which one you consider to be better. Sannyasam karmanam Krishna, punar yogam cha shamsasi, yachreya etayorekam, tanme bruhi sunishchitam." Initially, he asked about knowledge and karma, and here he calls it sannyasa and yoga. It is the same question with a different terminology. Again, Lord Krishna does not answer directly. He says, what is achieved by the sannyasis is also accomplished by the karma yogis. Yat sankhyai prapyate sthanam tad yogairapi gamyate. And further, the one who looks at both sannyasa and karma yoga as the same means for one common end, he alone sees ekam sankhyam cha yogancha yah pashyati sa pashyati. Is the question different from others? Here in the 12th chapter, Arjuna asks the same question in a different form. He wants to know which of the two groups of people are better. Those who pursue Nirguna Brahma, meaning they pursue the knowledge of Atma being Brahman, free from all attributes, or those who worship the Lord in the cosmic form, which he has just seen in a way. The Karma Yogi does his duties towards the family, society, his country, and even the Devatas with Ishwararpana Buddhi and meditates upon Saguna Brahma. None of these duties exist for a sannyasi. His life is one of dedicated pursuit of knowledge, nothing else. He also declares his pursuit with external symbols like the kashaya, the ochre robes, the rudrakshamala, and kamandalu. He takes sannyasa by performing a stipulated ritual in which he takes an oath that he will no longer be a cause of fear for any living being, including plants, animals, human beings, and all the devatas. He gives abhaya to all of them. And he pursues Nirguna Brahma to the exclusion of everything else. Though the word upasana is used, Nirguna Brahma cannot be meditated upon. It has to be understood. How are you going to meditate upon something free from attributes, which moreover is the meditator's swarupa? Nirguna Brahma Upasana is the pursuit of knowledge. Those who meditate upon me as that, tam ye paryupasate, come to me directly. Te mam eva yanti. They are me because what they are meditating upon is Atma, and I am the Atma of everyone. Knowing that they are me, they are non-separate from me, Bhagavan says. So I think we will stop here. I will have to open another Zoom for a session on Sahaj. So can we continue this tomorrow?
Dr. Zhadra, can I join you in Sahaj now?
Yeah.
Okay, send me the link.
I will send you. Today is the second day. You can join me on the third day, tomorrow. Is that fine with you? The Sahaj follow-up, yes, you can join. I'll add you to the Sahaj group.
Okay.
Follow-up, that you can certainly join. That is at 8:45 our time. Okay?
8:45 tomorrow.
Yeah. Today. I will message you.
Okay, thank you.
Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
Jai Gurudev,
Jai
Brahmaraj. Thank you
Gurudev.
so much.
Dhanyavad, Brahmaraj.